Hello friends, it is Sat Chat time. We got a new chair. Woo, I can spin. This was a makeup chair from Lila's room. She didn't want it anymore. And so she was going to donate it. And I thought, you know what, actually, that might look nicer here than my paint, the chair that I had in here with the paint on the back. So I put that in the room of hoard so I could actually work at the little bench that I have. And good news, the shelf that collapsed, my husband did replace it on Mother's Day. I'd gone down to China to visit my sister and my mom. That's the town in Maine. And oh, by the way, this is Sat Chat. Might not really talk that much about art and crafts. We'll talk some of it. It's just a big variety show. It's a big, who knows? It's a stream of consciousness verbal vomit that I present every Saturday. It may offend you. I offended people last week. We'll get into that later. But anyway, so last Sunday was Mother's Day, and my sister's like, I have a plan. Come on down. We're going to take Mom out to lunch, and then we'll go to the Fairfield Antiques Mall, and then we'll go to this craft fair that I found out about. And so I'm like, all right, that sounds good. And so just be down here around noon. So went down there around noon. We did our annual plant exchange. So basically we buy each other plants, and I just hope that I can keep mine alive long enough to paint them or something. I have really, really bad luck with plants. But anyway, I got them a couple big petunia baskets, and Mom got me a hydrangea, my sister got me a dahlia, and they are upstairs living their best lives. They're going to go outside though. I had to bring everything in last night because it got so cold. But anyway, Mother's Day. So we're talking about Mother's Day. And we went to this Chinese place for lunch. They make the most amazing green beans, garlic green beans. And we had quite a long wait, but it was fine. Every place is going to have a wait. And then we went to the Fairfield Antiques Mall, which I found high heels that I could actually walk in. Aren't these adorable? They're so cute. And one of you guys recommended for learning how to walk in high heels to watch John Barrowman's video on how to walk in high heels. And I love John Barrowman because he was in Doctor Who as Captain Jack, and he was also the star of the show Torchwood. So big fan of John Barrowman. And so I did watch that. Actually, but before I saw that, I had seen these at the Antiques Mall, and they were like $9.88. And so I put them on. I was walking around. I'm like, I can walk in these. I feel like an elegant lady. Awesome. So I went to go pay for them, and they rang up at $4.74 because there was like apparently a sale in that booth. I probably could have bought other shoes too, but I'm like, you know what? My theory is only buy things that you pay full price for, because then it means you really want them. You're not just buying them because they're on sale. But anyways, love these shoes. I can't wait to wear them. Actually, I put them on after I paid for them, and I wore them for the rest of the day. And I was really thrilled with them. So that was my big Mother's Day purchase. And then we went out to go to this, it was called a Mother's Day craft fair and taco fiesta. And it was from 3 to 7 p.m. But I was like, on Mother's Day, I'm like, that's a weird time for a craft fair. Mother's Day. On Mother's Day from 3 to 7 p.m. That is a strange time. I was feeling seemed a little sus to me, a little suspicious, but whatever. We drove all the way out to Madison, I think it was Madison, Legion Hall, American Legion, and there's like not a soul, nobody in the parking lot. And I'm like, this doesn't seem like a fiesta. This doesn't seem like there's a taco fiesta happening anytime soon. And Bryce's like, that's what it said in the newspaper clipping. It said like 3 to 7 p.m. Mother's Day craft fair. And so I looked it up online. I just kind of Googled it, and I found one that was like from the previous weekend. And then I saw some live streams that were like a day earlier. So I don't know if they had two Mother's Day craft fairs that were just like a week apart or what. But anyways, there was no Mother's Day craft fair, but it was fun. We laughed about it. We drove back and got to see my dad. And then and I shared some photos on Instagram of the fam. And then when I came back, Jason had put a shelf for me in the room of hoard to replace the one that collapsed. The bottom part of the shelf, it was like twisted and bent, one of the really chintzy plastic legs. I mean, I'm surprised it held up this long. So he took that bottom rung off and set the shelf on top of my bench, which is exactly where I was going to put it, the bench against the wall. So I have a little extra storage space. And I think what I'm going to do in here, I have a bunch of products that they need to be reviewed, but I'm not ready to review them yet. And I think I'm going to turn that shelf into the to be reviewed shelf, kind of like to be on deck, the on deck to be reviewed products. And I was going to think I could do a donate shelf, but I have donate boxes, so I don't think I need to do a donate shelf. But anyway, that got replaced. The shelf he found for it was a little bit wider, so it fit the spot perfectly where that shelf was, because I had a little gap where I put my French easel when I wasn't using it. So that worked out really well. The shelves themselves seem to be maybe not, because they're bigger, they seem to be like bowing a little bit already, so I'm a little concerned with that. The top shelf where I have all my frames stood up on there, that's bowing quite a bit, so I'm thinking I should just take those frames down. Honestly, there were 2 big frames there that I bought back when AC Moore was still in business, so they've been out of business for a few years. I bought them to frame a couple paintings I did of my daughters in watercolor when I took this watercolor watercolor portrait class. And I was going to frame them to hang them up upstairs, and I bought the frames, I did the paintings. That's as far as I got. So I think I need to mat and frame those, get that out of there, and then maybe that will be enough weight off of that top shelf so it doesn't bow anymore, because it's like, ugh. Somebody suggested putting a board across there. I'm like, oh, I bet that would work. Just putting a board across the shelf would make it a little bit more sturdy rather than just the plastic that it is. But the size was perfect, and that was great, because I came home after visiting my mom for Mother's Day, and that was all set, so I'm really excited about that. Jason had a couple days off this week. We went to the nursery yesterday and bought some hanging baskets for the porch and the deck. And Jason's like, I think I'll go to the nursery, maybe go to Lowe's. And I'm like, oh, I'd go look at some plants with you. And he's like, really? He's like, totally. He's like, that's sus. That's my favorite word for when something is suspicious, to say that's sus. That's sus, as the kids say. That's sus. Yeah, I went through one of the greenhouses and I started this glazed look on my face, and Jason's like, oh, she's had enough. I did take some photos while I was there, kind of getting used to my new phone, because there's like 3 cameras on it, so it does different things. I'm just kind of getting used to it. And you can like take pictures in a square format or these different formats. I'm like, that's kind of handy, because if I take a picture that I know I'm going to use on Instagram in a square format already, then it just makes it all the easier when I go to upload it. Also, because like if you need to adjust more than one photo, I don't know what it is, because with my old phone it did that too on Instagram. If I had to adjust more than one photo as far as like where it was positioned or zoomed in or whatever, it would only keep like the last adjustment you made, and I don't know why. Maybe it's an Android thing. I don't know, but it's not working on the new one either. It keeps doing that. So if I can start off with something framed up perfectly for a square to begin with, then that's all better. Maybe I could have done that with my old one. I probably could have. I just never learned the settings. But so I'm getting used to that. I'm enjoying that phone quite a bit. There's lots of space. I'm working on a bunch of different videos right now. I have a review. I'm working on a review of these stone ground watercolors. There's just the swatches. They're pearlescent, and my friend Ophelia had an extra set of these, and she's like, would you like one? I have a duplicate, and I'm like, sure. I've always wanted to try their paint. They're a Canadian paint company. I think all their paint's handmade. They do pans of watercolor, pearlescent watercolor, and gouache as well. So I think Denise Soden had a review of their gouache. But I usually don't go for the pearlescent colors, because I have so many, but these are nice. They have enough pigment in them that I can actually work on white paper and have that little bit of sheen. So I think that's going to be kind of something fun to play with. And also, I love that they put the names on the pans themselves. They actually have them like printed on there, because I never write the names on there. I might like scrawl the pigment numbers on pan, but it's like, yeah, I don't have the patience for that. I don't have the tiny penmanship either to be able to do that. So that's kind of cool. I was really impressed to see that attention to detail. But anyway, working on a review for these. I've also been working on, oh shoot, I gotta tell you about this. I'm gonna hold on to it so I don't forget. I forgot last week. I was also working on a review for these watercolors. They're the Meeden tube colors, and they were sus. I'm telling you, I love Meeden's palettes. Their tools, their furniture, like their easels, their 100% cotton watercolor paper. That's all really awesome. Their paints I've never been all that impressed with. But they said they reformulated the watercolors and they wanted me to try them out. And I said, well, if I like them, I'll use them. I'll do a review. But I'm like, because I'm just kind of like, it seems like more of the same. And I'm kind of thinking it's more of the same. But if anybody really wants a review on that, let me know. I can put one together. It won't be a long one, because it's, I've done a few sample paintings and I've swatched them out. And it's just, I don't know. The thing I have left to do is let them dry down and then work from them dry. Maybe I'll have a different opinion of them, but as it is of now, I'm not impressed. Maybe things will change when I paint with them with the dry. If you guys want a review of that, let me know. As I'm kind of like thinking that I'm probably not going to film a review because I'm not that impressed at the moment. But, and the other thing I'm reviewing are the Artfinity markers from Jerry's Artorama. They are a new brush marker that actually has, they're a new budget-friendly brush marker that has ink refills. So that's kind of exciting. I'm working on that. Hopefully I'll have that up in a week or two. But I did actually color this with those markers. I think it did a pretty good job as far as blending. It was a set of 48, so it wasn't a really huge set, but I thought that it did a pretty good job. And yeah, I feel like I'm pretty confident in reviewing those. I just got, yeah, I think I've got all my notes and everything, so I'll probably work on that this afternoon. But this, I want to show you this because this is a perfume sample, but it's in an actual sprayer. Like, I'm gonna see if I can spray this without spraying it on me because it's a little too strong for me. It was Lancome something. So, let's see, can you see that? It smells all right. There was like a free sample offer and it said it had notes of vanilla. I like perfume that has kind of like a more of a vanilla fragrance to it. Oh, I'm breathing it in now. That cannot be good for me. Oh, why did I do that? I should have sprayed it behind me. Oh, I taste it. It does not taste like vanilla. No. It's very floral. And I prefer a perfume that's a little bit more fruity or vanilla-y, that's a little bit more light, I guess, and fresh, or more like bakery smelling. I love vanilla. Vanilla is usually what I go for. Is something, this is way more what I think of like fancy lady perfume. And so I don't really care for this that much, but it came in a little pump bottle. I thought it'd be just one of those, like, you know, little Avon ones that would have like the little stopper on it, the little glass vial. So I'm gonna see if I can take this apart because that would be the perfect little spray, little travel spray bottle to go with a plein air kit. I thought that was so adorable. So I gotta see if I can get the cap off and get it cleaned out so I can put water in it. I don't know how it spins, so I'm thinking they'll be able to, oh, I think I got it. Look, I got it apart. Ooh, look at that. It just pops on. That is going to be perfect for my plein air kit. So that's a Lancome free sample. If you see that offered, you know what? I think I'm going to leave the cap off. I'm going to dump that. That stinks. I don't like it. I don't want to use it. I don't want to use it. I feel like I smell like a, I don't know. I know what. I'm not going to say what yeah, I'm not going to use that colloquialism because I'll definitely get canceled. So last week, I did tick some people off. So, you know how I always try not to offend anybody? I think I'm just gonna not anymore. I'm not gonna bother trying not to offend anybody anymore. So three people, so probably more than three people commented that they were offended because I brought politics into my show. I mentioned having a dream with a senator in it. And the senator told me off. I couldn't even remember the full senator's name. And it ticked people off enough to leave a comment that they were unsubscribing. They were leaving. I can't believe you brought politics into it. It's like, I didn't say anything political. I didn't even reveal what my political party is. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Really? How do you cope in the world, you people? I don't even know how you walk down the street without just, oh, the vapors, I'm so offended, grasp my pearls. You know, it's like, seriously, me mentioning the name of a of a politician is me bringing politics into it? Wow. I'm just like, there's no point in trying to edit yourself because somebody's gonna have a problem with you. I'm just kind of over that. 13 years, taking me 13 years in YouTube just to be like, yeah, don't the door hit ya. That's fine. You don't have to watch us. Although I don't know if you're going to find somebody as unproblematic as I am on YouTube, but who knows? I think I keep it pretty clean over here, but I don't know. So anyways, that happened. And I didn't get offended. I didn't get bothered. I didn't get sad to see these few upset people leave because I'm like, you know what? I didn't do anything that was offensive. Whatever. I was just like, oh my gosh, I can't. I was like, really? How do these people cope with life? I don't even know. Do you ever have a conversation with anybody? Because I don't see how you could. You're so offended. It's unreal. It's unreal. I don't want to live in a bubble. I have friends with lots of different beliefs than I do, lots of different opinions, but I believe in our core, we have the same values. You know, you can have different You can belong to different political parties and still have values that are similar. You could have different religions and have values that are similar, I believe. You can, you know, it's just, wow, people just try to find things that divide them and to be offended by, rather than finding the things that are common that we could all get together behind, which just blows my mind. Wouldn't you rather have more in common with other people? Wouldn't you rather get along with people and see things from other people's points of view? Wouldn't you rather do that than constantly try to find something to be offended by and to find something to fight about? Just desperate to have your opinion heard, that, you know, you just leave a comment like that. It's like, and why leave a comment like that? If you're that offended, just why give me the engagement? Why not just click the computer off? That's you can do that. Whatever. I'll take the engagement though. So if anybody else wants to pile on and say how awfully politically, how much, how problematic I am, go ahead, leave it in the comments. Whatever. Thanks for the engagement. You can even give me a thumbs down while you're at it, because that's also engagement. I'm just done worrying about it. It does no good. It does no good to worry about it, you know? So where was I? Oh my gosh, did you guys see the cover of Sports Illustrated Swimsuit Edition? I typically wouldn't notice that, except Martha Stewart is on it looking fine. She is looking good at 81 and she's on the cover, and I'm just like, slay queen, you got this. That is awesome. So like last week when I was like, I don't know, middle age is somewhere between like 40 and 65. No, I'm saying if Martha Stewart can be 81 on the cover of the Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue looking like that, you can be young all the way through. I'm not even going to say middle age anymore, because I think that there is no youth, middle age, elderliness. It's all state of mind, and take care of yourselves, and yeah, be the age you want to be the vibrancy that you want to be. She looks good. And even if there is some airbrushing, you know what? And it's funny because I was looking at the comments. Snoop Dogg shared the cover, and I was looking at the comments, and people were like, holy airbrushing. It's like, oh really? Click on that person's picture, you see that they've applied a filter to their profile pic. It's like, come on, do you realize that like your filters are the same thing as like airbrushing? You know, granted, I wouldn't put a bathing suit on and get in front of a magazine cover without some airbrushing. I don't think anybody would. I don't care how beautiful you are. I don't care like what sort of supermodel you are. You'd have some airbrushing, you'd have a spray tan, you'd have all the things because you want to look your best. And she looks great. And I say more the power to her. I know a lot of people have a problem with Martha Stewart, and I'm sure those people are going to let me know in the comments below and then unsubscribe, and don't let the door hit you. Sorry about your luck. She owns it. When she does something wrong, she owns it. She has an opinion, she owns it. She does not care. And maybe that comes with being 81. She gives no bleeps about anything. She does her thing, and you know what? If a man was doing it, nobody would have a problem. But the fact that a woman does it, that's why people have a problem. Think of all the men that have insider traded and got caught. Nobody cares. Martha Stewart does it. Gotta make an example, you know? She did her time. I say go forth and slay queen, you've earned it. I love it. I love it. I think it's great. And it's a beautiful photo. She looks great, and I raise my glass to you, Miss Stewart. Rock on. You and Snoop Dogg, the most charming friendship I've ever seen. They're so cute. Anyway, and I love how she pokes. She makes fun of herself. She makes fun of herself. She not makes fun of herself. She can take a joke. She just seems to be like, yeah, I did that. I'm gonna lean into it. I was at Sam's Club, and there was like, what was it? It was this, it was wine or something, but like the title of the wine was something like, it wasn't Prison Blend, but it was Outlaw or something like that. It was just some sort, I can't remember the marketing of it exactly, except that she was leaning into the fact that she had been arrested, and I was just like, you know, own it. She owns it. You know, she's not going to apologize. She's going to own it. She's not going to be ashamed. And I think that's something that we all can learn. I think, like, as women, especially, you know, you grow up saying that you can't be who you are and be ashamed of this, be ashamed of that, you know, be virtuous, hide this, hide that. And like, no, own it, own what you do, make your choices and own them, and grab life. And do your thing. You only get one chance. And I think that, you know, regardless of what you think of Martha Stewart, she owns it. And she's not everybody's cup of tea. And a lot of people hate her. But I think that kind of comes with the territory, unfortunately. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how nice you are. If you put yourself out there in the world, people will hate you. Some people will hate you. A lot of people hate me. And I think I'm pretty unproblematic and pretty friendly, and I never go out of my way to be mean or to make anyone feel bad, and yet I get it. So, of course, somebody that's unapologetically fabulous will get it. And I say own it. You know, don't live in the shadows. Don't shrink to make somebody else happy. Put your shoulders back and roar, ladies. It's your life. You don't need to shrink for anybody. What else? Did I have some notes? I don't know. It's funny because this is actually take 2 of Stat Chat because, and not because I was being problematic, well, maybe a little bit problematic, but mainly because I was boring. And I'm like, yeah, I got to do it better. That's pretty boring. No, actually, I didn't really have much on my notes. I just wanted to mention Martha Stewart's swimsuit cover because I think that's awesome. So I did some groceries, so this will be a little bit problematic. So trigger warning, I'm going to talk about a term that I learned for the first week called Almond Mom. And if that triggers you, then that's fine. You can stop the video here. That's okay. I won't hold it against you. So I had never heard this term before, but I'm a very health conscious person, and I eat whole foods plant-based. I've been vegan for 28 years. My diet's been vegan for 28 years. My lifestyle isn't vegan because like I have watercolor paper that has gelatin sizing. I have paints with ox gall. So my lifestyle isn't vegan. I have some vintage like leather coats even. But my diet is vegan, and I don't buy like for brushes. I have some old sable brushes that were given to me that I've had for decades. I don't have anything. I don't buy them now, but you know, I'm not gonna throw them away. I feel like it's kind of to choose what you have. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. Anyway, I'm very health conscious, and I generally don't keep snacks in the house because, except for like apples and things like that, because I don't want to eat them. It's too easy. I have a portion control problem when it comes to things like potato chips and mostly things like that, mostly like salty snacks. If I am going to have something like that, I would have like a single serve bag because I know I have problems with portion control. And so I want to be healthy. I want to make good choices. So I don't put myself in a situation where I'm going to make bad choices, basically. And so I was grocery shopping with Maisie the other day, and I always read, especially if it's a product I've never used before, for one, I will look at the ingredients, see what's in the product. I want to see the calories, I want to see the fat, I want to see the protein, I want to see the nutrients. And I look at every label, unless it's something I buy every week. But I took Maisie shopping with me. She hates grocery shopping, but I took her with me because I'm like, I want to make sure there's food in the house because she just got back from school. Her sister was getting back later in the day after working all week down, staying with my sister and working down there all week. And I wanted to make sure there was stuff in the house that they wanted to eat. And so she's like giving me the side eye. I'm looking at everything, and we were in the juice aisle, and Jason was going to make some blue Hawaiis, and we needed pineapple juice. And I was looking for the little cans, but I didn't see them. So I was looking at the big containers. I'm like, oh, we need some pineapple juice. Maisie goes to grab like the store brand, and I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I saw a light pineapple juice, and so I'm like, let's look at the calorie difference. And she's like, looking, it's like, I'm like, this one's better. She's like, there's no good food or bad food, Mom. There's only food. And I'm like, that one has a ton of sugar in it. This one has no added sugar and half the calories. This is better. And she's like, no, there's no good and bad. And I'm just like, there is better and worse, you know, and I still believe that. I will stand by that. And there was a couple other things where she was giving me kind of like a look. And so we're standing in the checkout line, and I said, have you ever heard of the term Almond Mom? And she goes, yep. And I said, do you think I'm one? And she goes, yeah. And I said, what do you mean? And she goes, well, you're just kind of like, you're just influenced by toxic diet culture. And I was like, wow, really, Echo? Because like it was funny because I was listening to a podcast about almond moms, which basically is like, it comes from this TikTok or Real Housewife show where I guess a daughter was hungry and the mom said, chew a couple almonds really slowly and it will make you feel full or something. Which I could say, yeah, that's pretty problematic if your child says they're hungry and you tell them to eat 2 almonds. I mean, yeah, that's kind of problematic. But like other things like if somebody says they're hungry, well, drink a glass of water and see if you're hungry, because a lot of times you're thirsty. I've heard that. You know, I know a lot of times when I'm hungry, I will drink a glass of water first, because I hate drinking water. Well, I don't hate drinking water, I don't drink enough. And so I'll drink a glass of water and I'll see if I'm really hungry. Or are you hungry or are you bored? Oh yeah, a lot of times I'll feel like I want to eat something, but it's really I'm bored, I'm not hungry. So I don't think those things are inherently bad advice. I would never restrict food from, you know, other people or anything. If somebody's hungry, you know, have a healthy, I always give my kids healthy snacks and stuff like that. But anyway, so I got home, by the time I got home, Lila was home and we were unpacking everything, and I said, Lila, do you think I'm an almond mom? And she goes, oh yeah. She goes, we live in an ingredients only household. And I'm like, well, what's wrong with that? You know, if you want to have cookies, you have to make them. At least it keeps you from impulsively like eating a whole bag of Oreos or something. And just like, I never thought that my lifestyle was problematic. And it's just, you know, like, I am open-minded. I am open-minded to things like that. I don't want to be, you know, I don't want to give like baggage or hang-ups to my children. I don't think I have, because I've never restricted what they am. Like, here are some healthy choices, you know, pick what you want. If they're hungry, make them a healthy snack. But it's funny how the mindset around food is shifting. Although I don't know if that's necessarily good, because if you say there's, you know, no good food or no bad food, if you have like a big bowl full of kale chips and a big bowl of potato chips, the kale chips might have like 40 calories and tons of micronutrients, and the potato chips would have 0 nutrients and like 800 calories, or, you know, so, you know, you can clearly say that one is a better way, one is better for you than others. And you can't say like a, you know, cheeseburger and french fries is as good as a salad with avocados on it. I mean, for a fat versus like grease as a fat. I don't know. So that's something that, but I'm thinking, you know, open-minded. I'm, you know, learning. We're all learning. We're on this journey of health and wellness. But I definitely think that I want to get the most nutritious food in my body, because I want to be 81 years old looking like Martha Stewart. Who knows? Maybe one day I'll be on Sports Illustrated. I doubt it. But Martha Stewart can do it, then, well, she's pretty special. I don't know. But I think that's pretty awesome. Regardless if you like her or not, the fact that like somebody okayed that happened, and she looks great, and I hope people support it, because I think it's good. But anyways, my daughter said I wasn't problematic. No, you weren't bad about it. It was just, said they were glad they were raised in such a healthy household, because, I mean, my parents were always just like, have whatever you want. My mother was like, have whatever you want. And we had pastries and we had fruit, and I overdid it with like pastries and stuff. I had no self-control, no like impulse control whatsoever. I still struggle with impulse control, so I just gotta make sure I don't keep those bad impulse things around me so I can't make the bad choices. But anyway, I don't know, hope that wasn't too triggering, but it's just something interesting. It's like, I've never heard about that before. And come to find out, I'm problematic. But I guess you probably already knew that, and you're probably not here anymore. But anyway, that's all I have for today. I don't know, it wasn't really crafty, but that tutorial for that's on my channel if you want, and also how to make your own hot press paper if you have rough paper. It's a smorgasbord. Thanks for watching. Until next time, happy crafting. Bye!